Hey everybody, my name is Alex with Hake Hardware, and in this video we are going to install a Portainer host and then connect a Portainer agent to it. And if you're not familiar with Portainer, it is a really cool graphical user interface for Docker, but I think what really makes Portainer cool is that you can connect all these agents to it. So instead of managing my Docker containers by SSHing into each of my servers, I can connect them all to a single graphical user interface and deploy stack files, which are basically Docker Compose, and it's all done through a graphical user interface. Super easy to manage and super easy to set up because Portainer itself is a Docker container, which is just mind-blowing by itself. But let's just jump right into it. This is going to be basically our architecture for Portainer. We're going to have Alpha, Comet, which is a host, and then Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. And just a side note, I am installing this on Armbian OS, but really for any Debian-based operating system, this should pretty much be the same. So I will link to this wiki with the commands that we'll be running, and I'm going to switch over to the terminal so you can see me go through this process on my servers. So I'm on my Windows PC and I have SSH'd into Alpha and Bravo Comet, and we'll kick it off from there. So Alpha is going to be my host, and for the host only, you need to set up a volume for Portainer. So actually, instead of copy pasting, I'm just going to type it out. It'll be a little bit slower, but sudo docker volume create Portainer data. And I'm using sudo because how I have Docker set up, I don't have the bypass where you basically add the current user to the Docker group. I prefer it this way, but you may not need to use sudo depending on your setup. And then next, we're actually just going to deploy the Docker container. I said I wasn't going to copy and paste, but this is a really long command and I don't want to mess it up. So we're basically doing sudo docker run, and then we're deploying the Portainer instance here. So we'll just hit enter. And of course, it needs to download the image. It's pretty quick. It's extracting. And now Portainer should be running. So if we do sudo docker ps, we can see Portainer is running. Now what's cool is it's already set up and accessible now on a browser. And although this is installed on Comet Alpha, on my Windows computer where I have Firefox, I can just type in the IP address and then port 9443, I believe, and that will get me access to this. So I have a DNS entry set up for Comet Alpha so that I can just go directly to the DNS entry, so like the actual uh, name, domain name that I have set up. Holy cow, yeah, the domain name that I have set up instead of the IP address. So I'm going to do, I think it is HTTPS, and then it'll be alpha, sorry, it's Comet Alpha dot hardware dot home 94443. Yes, okay. So for you, instead of Comet Alpha dot hardware dot home, you're going to put in the IP address of whatever the server is that you're going to set up your Portainer host. And the first thing that happens is you get this potential security risk ahead. That's because we're using HTTPS, but it's like a self-signed certificate. So we'll go to advanced. Certificate is not trusted because it's self-signed, but we're hosting this. You wouldn't, if you were just browsing like any website on the internet, you probably wouldn't want to proceed, but because we are hosting this, I'm going to accept the risk and continue. The first thing we're going to want to do is set up a password here. I'm just going to use like whatever the default is. This is just kind of like a burner Portainer instance, and then we're just going to make sure you keep this password so you can log in, because you will need it to log in after this, and then click create user. And I'm just going to click update to save that password. And now we're already inside Portainer, and we can just click get started. And local is going to be the environment. So each PC that you set up is going to be an environment, and local is going to be the one that you basically set up Portainer host on. Now, I don't like that it says local. I'm going to go into environment related, and let me make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go into environment related. I'm just going to click on local, and I'm going to do Comet Alpha because that's what I want it to be named. So now if I go back to home, I can see Comet Alpha here. And if I go into it, just a quick rundown, we have stacks, which is like a Docker Compose file. You can create stacks, containers. So we have one container running, which is Portainer. And we have one image, that's the Portainer image. We have one volume, that's the Portainer volume. And we have 3 networks. These are the ones created by Docker when you install Docker. Okay, so now how do we add additional computers? Because although it's cool that I can manage Comet Alpha, I want to be able to manage all of my servers running Docker. So it's super easy. We'll go down into environments and we're going to click add environment. And then from here, you're going to select Docker standalone, start wizard, and then you're going to want to copy this command here. And then we'll jump back into our terminal. I'm going to go over to Comet Bralpha. Comet Bravo. I don't know what Bralpha is, but it's definitely not any computer that I'm running. And then I'm going to add sudo to this and then paste in that command. And then just hit enter, and I think I have Docker installed. Oh my God, I don't have Docker installed. Okay, let's do a real quick Docker installation. It only takes a second here, so let's just do sudo apt update. I did not prepare for this. And I also have a guide for installing Docker. So you probably have Docker installed if you're watching this. And you do need Docker installed, of course, to run Portainer. But let's just get this installed. It's actually super quick. Just pasting all these commands here. The longest part is going to be this, where we actually install everything. But it's actually still pretty quick. Okay, now we'll just press up a few times. Here we go. This is the Portainer agent. Pulling everything in, and basically once you see that this has been deployed, as we can see here with the ID for the container, we can jump back into Firefox, go to our environment section again, and now we're going to want to give this a name, and we know this is Comet Bravo, not Bralpha, Bravo. And then we'll do, again, I have like a DNS entry for the domain name, but you would put in your IP address and then :9001, which is the port that the Portainer agent runs on. So for me, I'm going to do comet bravo.hardware.home and then 9001. Click connect, and you can see a little thing up here that says we have a new environment. And if we go to home, we can see now we have Comet Bravo, and I can manage everything here. We see we have the Portainer agent running under containers. And that should be it. Let me just see if I missed anything here. Docker standalone. Okay, if you need to get your IP address let's go back into the terminal here. You could do host name -I. Now I have Docker running, and you probably do too. And Docker has this IP address set for the like virtual network that Docker uses. This is my actual IP address. So if you are looking for your IP address, you can do hostname -I, and that'll show you the IP address. And that's it. You now have Portainer installed, and you can just continue to go to the environments down here, click add environment, and this is the same command when you do the start wizard. This is the same command, so you can honestly just stay on this screen and just copy command, paste it in, hit enter, have the agent installed, and then when you click connect, you can just go ahead and connect another one by pasting in the same command. So this isn't like unique to whatever server that you're installing it on. It's just the same thing over and over again. So there we go. Hopefully it was helpful. and I will see you in the next one.